Last part of Star Trek Online saw us attempting to return an injured Captain Lorca to a Starfleet medical facility after he was the only survivor of the USS Baran, which went down with all hands except him, and the security team assigned to our ship, the USS Pioneer. On the way, however, the Klingons emerged from cloak and shot us down to Priors 5D. Fortunately, there is an ion storm raging, so the interference has masked our precise crash site, but if it lets up, then the Klingons will find us. As a result, we have holed up in a cave system and are going through the motions of Starfleet survival training on this tundra of a world. Unbeknownst to Commander Landry, Commander Patel, her team and us, Lorca has been switched with his mirror universe counterpart, who is now playing the role as best he can of the earnest Starfleet Captain. His demeanour has become rather more cutthroat though, pressuring us, a poor impressionable cadet, into approaching the Klingons with no mercy and trying to make sure that we would be ready to sacrifice our own to win. Thing is, in this sort of situation he's not exactly incorrect. Landry, meanwhile, is quietly cursing herself as the very Klingon captain that brought down the Baran was Captain Akar, the prisoner she saved from tumbling to his doom on a prison station only days ago. He escaped and landed us in this predicament. So, my team, Landry and I, are heading out on a supply run to see what we can salvage from this world to make our rescue a little more likely.
Losing the Baran was hard. You know, I don't have much left, but I am ready to fight for it. For them. My people from the Baran, they're my family. Starfleet, they give us tools and training, sure. But the most important thing that they give us is each other.
After a long walk back to the fumaroles that we passed through earlier, we set about looking for mineral deposits, preferably magnesium and sulfur, that Kerwin asked us for. It was something he needs to complete his repairs to our rescue transmitter. Approaching from this angle, however, a path has opened up that was not accessible from our original approach, and that is the way to the snow-covered walls and arches over the scalding mud. This proves to our advantage, as the burrowing worms that we crossed earlier are unable to reach us, and we can safely drive them off from up here. Eventually we have to drop down to get to the centre of these burbling, spitting fissures in order to reach the detected mineral build-ups in the centre of these mud pits. These geysers have been erupting like clockwork, however, so we can time our approach to be at the lowest pressure points when the burning mud has receded and we have time to gather a sample.
That should be enough. Let's go.
Ooh, that was a little close. On the way out, we have to take care of another one of these worms, which reminds me, we were supposed to be out hunting as well for food. But we're not the only ones.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Big monster! Very big!
Approaching is the largest cochiton beast we've seen.
I'm pretty sure I know what made those marks in the ice now.
None of us realised our cavern hideout was so close to this thing's nest. We saw signs of something but didn't come across it until just now. During the battle, its carapace seems to shrug off many of our hits, and it is soon joined by smaller, swarming creatures. After sustained fire, it flails and succumbs to its wounds.
We better hope none of those come to visit the cave.
Well, at least we have dinner.
Honey, I'm home.
Oh, good. Wait till you see what I've done with the cave.
First things first, we approach Kerwin with our materials.
What you got there? Magnesite? Ah, indium. We can use that. I'll take those off your hands. The indium can give us some power. Just don't loiter around it. It's radioactive. I can probably use the magnesite to make some explosive charges. You know, just in case.
Remind me to get an erythrosine dose. Okay, but you can at least get the transmitter working though, right? Good, good.
Explosives. In a cave like this. That's not one of your best ideas, Kerwin. Even if we don't collapse it on our heads, we'd probably trap ourselves. We'd be stuck, unless we could burn a new way out with our phasers.
That is also a very good point, Commander.
Sealing off the cave entrance and finding another way out is superior to being devoured by those ice creatures you mentioned. Put the explosive near the tunnel entrance. See if you can rig up a remote detonator. Better to have the option and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Ice creature? Oh yeah, all the Klingons. You know what the Klingons tweet us. I've heard stories.
I should have just enough parts to make a short-range radio detonator for the explosives. I can work on that while someone else sets up these canisters. With the magnesium as an accelerant, and some of the gelled thruster fuel from the shuttle, they'll go up once a charge is applied to them.
I bet you're on a list somewhere, aren't you, Kerwin? But sure, that's a good idea. I'll do it. We set Kerwin's plan B, and Lorca is right. If it comes to using it, then we'll be in such dire straits anyway that it'll at least buy us time, if nothing else. With that done, we settle down for another cold day.
Glad to see you made it back in one piece. Judging by the looks on your faces, you didn't come back empty-handed. That's good news. Come and have a seat, Ellen. Got a reasonably smooth rock, nice and heated up for you.
Yeah, we managed to get something. I think it's edible.
Looks like the best rock in the house, too. Thanks, Emma. You're always looking out for me. Okay, let's talk next steps. Kerwin, we're gonna need that transmitter real soon. We've bought a little time, but not much. This cold's not going anywhere, and neither are the Klingons.
Good points. It's been a day. That storm might have passed by now, which means we're closer to being found.
You're not wrong, but consider. We survived the Klingon ambush, and a crash landing, and those things that tried to eat us, whatever the hell they were. The Captain's still with us, and we have each other. Remember, we're Starfleet. We can't give in to despair. When times are worst, that's when we need to rise to our best.
Yeah, if this were a book, I would say we have plot armor.
Agreed. Let's not lose sight of what matters the most here. Okay, everyone, get some rest. I know I'm beat. Please tell me we have some more of that moss around. I need to pad out my thermal bag. It's keeping me warm, but this cave floor is doing a number on my back.
Yeah, but that moss glows purple, and you sort of wake up in the morning covered in it and glowing.
I think we're in business here. The distress beacon's operational. It actually works. I mean, it's ugly and full of hacks, but we can send out a distress signal with the beacon now.
Ugly and full of hacks? That's just like...
Hold on. If we use the beacon, won't the Klingons receive the signal too? If they're still trying to find us, they'll know exactly where we are once we turn that on. This cozy little cave will be crawling with Klingons sooner than any of us would like once that happens.
Nice alliteration. Was that on purpose? But seriously, is there any way to mask the signal?
None, unfortunately. We turn it on, and it'll be out there for all to see, friend and foe alike. We're hoping that Federation ships at Pryor's World will hear it and respond before the Klingons do. It's a risk, but one we need to think about taking soon.
I guess the distress beacon's gonna do what a distress beacon's gonna do. If that's the case, we should be ready, just in case it's the Klingons who get here first.
Agreed. They know we crashed. And unless they gave up the chase, they're still out there. And they will come running the moment they detect this beacon. Count on it. So, we need to be ready to deal with them, and buy ourselves enough time for Starfleet to get here and extract us from this godforsaken ice ball.
So we need to prepare a defensive line? I mean, this cave's pretty defensible. One clear way in or out, and we can always cave it in, maybe hole up for a while.
To a point. They'll eventually bottle us in and use grenades or chemicals. We have to make it too costly for them to hunt us down. Catch them before they catch us. Ambush them.
Ah, I didn't even consider chemical weapons. That's risky, but we do know the terrain.
Here's the plan. They'll beam down at the shuttle wreckage and start searching from there. Their teams will eventually track our route, so we hit them on the way. We'll ambush them at the snowdrifts, then fall back, fighting our way towards the cave. Make them pay for every meter. We don't have to stop them. Just slow them down long enough for Starfleet to reach us.
We have two dialogue options, the measured response or the gung-ho. But honestly, I need to start thinking like a tactical officer at all times. The speed with which Landry came up with that plan means that she's been hatching it for a while.
Let's take position by the fumaroles and make the Klingons come to us.
Remember, the Klingons can be beaten. Meet them with strength. Seize every opportunity. Give no quarter. Fight hard and fight to win.
And would you look at that? It is as if the planetoid knows what's coming as a storm begins to blow in.
Jackal Mastiffs! They're hunting us!
The howls carried on the wind. The jackal mastiffs have torn away from their handlers on our scent. The Klingons can then follow their pets' tracks right to us. Landry was right to bring us out here to engage them, otherwise we'd be dealing with these in our little cave, and by the time they were dead, the Klingons would have us.
We should get to high ground and try to hide. Catch them in the rough terrain.
It'd have been nice if Starfleet were the ones to get here first. We take the Pev's advice and remember the frosted arches over the fumaroles we travelled over yesterday. We can take up positions above these natural hazards and ambush the Klingons as they try to pass through them.
Get behind cover. They'll be here any second. Everyone in position.
Ready.
Affirmative.
I see them.
Wait for my signal. Let's give him hell.
We open fire on the Klingon search party as they step through the fumaroles, providing us with additional damage as they clumsily try to avoid the scalding, spluttering mud pits. From our elevated position, we have a clear advantage. Unfortunately, and uncharacteristically for Hale, I forget to factor in grenades, and soon I join the Klingons in the pits. So, no plan survives first contact with the enemy, so I toss a grenade of my own before legging it back through the snow to the corner and climbing back up. Yep, good show guys, keep it up.
Keep up the pressure!
Nobody worry about me, I'm fine. At this stage, I remember that I have a holographic targeting assist. I'm sure that'll come in handy later. The firefight continues for a while and no Klingon makes it out of the mud pits. Except one.
Keep firing! Hold the line!
That was close. You alright?
Get down!
Kerwin's down!
With a sullen thud, Kerwin's body hits the floor. Seems the Klingons have found a way up.
They're homing in on our signal. Head toward the cave before they flank us.
We beat a hasty retreat back towards the cave. The Klingons behind us are still trying to find their way out of the mud pits and probably circling back around as that solo one did. Did my eyes deceive me, or did the one that shot Kerwin look like a car? That's AAKAR, not a car.
Keep moving! We'll dig out on the hillside by the rocks.
Somehow, some Klingons approach us from the direction of our hideaway. Worrying, because this means that they might have found the cave. Presumably, though, this is a different search patrol that has been called in by the main host to flank us. And if that is the case, then hopefully they remain unaware of our cave, just 100 or so meters behind them.
Fall back! Fall back to the cave! We can't let them reach Lorca!
We start to hustle, only to notice the Pev standing still.
We won't last long out here, even in cover. The cave's gonna be our best option soon. The rest of you should be ready to fall back to the camp. When that happens, I'll dig in here and cover your retreat.
That's a negative, Ensign. We've already lost one. You'd die too. Although apparently Lorca's been listening in on our comlink.
It's a sound tactic. If something goes wrong, you're gonna want someone watching your back. Keep the Pev in reserve in case you need to withdraw. Think like a Klingon. Consider every weapon at your disposal.
The Pev's not a weapon.
I'll make sure you have the time you need. Keep the captain safe. Tell my family what happened here. Tell them I fought for them. And for the Federation.
Good luck. We leave the Pev behind. I mean, he isn't slowed by the terrain or the cold, and he knows how to fight. But despite this, any sentiment like he might be okay or even he might stand a chance is a lie. and we know it.
Which one of you wants to die first? Ah! I thought you Klingons knew how to fight!
I give you a warrior's death, Andorian. It is better than they will see.
I'll say one thing for him, the Pev understood the warrior's mindset. One Andorian alone, just standing there awaiting the Klingons. How are they to resist a challenge like that? And it did buy us time.
Since you're back, I assume that the Klingons are on their way. Give me a phaser. I'll be damned if I go down without a fight.
Lorca is still unsteady, but I'm not going to deny him a phaser. He takes it and staggers over to a rock for cover next to Landry. We all assume firing positions, and not a moment too soon.
A car, a house, Mokai. I am gonna kill you.
It seems I have you cornered, Starfleet. Your minions died alone. But your captain is, have you said? He will not enjoy his time as a prisoner of the Empire. My troops will deal with you. Jolly Chu!
Akar himself retreats, despite no doubt considering us cowards for doing the same. As we fend off more of his soldiers, it becomes clear that he just has too many to throw our way.
They smell blood. They won't stop now.
I think it's time we use those explosives, Chief.
Do it! Seal off the entrance! Damn!
I know that look. What's wrong?
Kerwin had it.
What?
Kerwin had the remote detonator.
Make another one then.
No parts. We used everything we had.
Give me options, Commander.
Yeah, running a little short on those, Captain.
Can we shoot it to set it off?
No way. You'll just fry the whole package.
Something with a tricorder then.
Maybe? I don't know.
What the hell?
What are you doing? Come back!
This is the only way. Has to be done manually.
Wait! No! No, you can't!
I love you, Ellen. Always. Always.
Amna, where are you? Can you hear me? Amna?
Landry!
Amna, tell me where you are! Please. Come back.
Commander! We need to get moving.
No. No, I'm not leaving without her.
She's gone, Commander. On your feet, soldier. Do not let her sacrifice be in vain.
3 lost. But we're still here, at least, and that has to count for something. Tamav has been examining the rear wall of ice and reckons that we could bore through it with concentrated phaser fire. It'll take a while, but what else are we going to do? Eventually we successfully carve a new escape tunnel while we are hidden from the Klingons, but they too will be digging their way towards us, so we make a retreat into unknown territory. But it seems our home field advantage can only take us so far. The tunnel we made leads straight to a cliff's edge with no clear path off, and even if we climb it, Lorca is in no fit state. Honestly, it's a miracle he's pushed himself this far.
Damn. It'll take a while for the Klingons to make it through the rockfall. Let's make sure we're ready when they do.
Aside from the exit itself, I'm not seeing much cover here, sir. And forgive me for saying, but I don't think you'd survive the climb down.
Dead end. Give me options, people.
Photon grenades. breaking through.
Klingons don't give up the chase easily.
Let them come. I'll take as many of them with me as I can.
Lorca here?
Captain Lorca, thought we'd lost you.
Not from lack of trying. My people and I need immediate extraction.
Ask and ye shall receive, Captain. Ready to leave when you are.
The levity is somewhat lost on us.
It's over. You did what you could. We all did. This time it wasn't enough. Not for everyone. I've heard from the surgeons at Starfleet Medical. They're optimistic about the captain's recovery. Though it's looking like he might have permanent damage to his eyes. Could have been a lot worse. They let me speak to him for a while, and he asked me to pass his thanks along to you. I'm glad he's still with us. We're gonna need officers like him to get through this war. Officers who are willing to do what must be done to stop the Klingons, no matter what the cost.
That is a statement that is very different from the ones Commander Landry was making only days ago. With Lorca being switched out for his merciless Terran counterpart, now the only rock she has left to lean on is the one who will further enforce her harsh new outlook. As for us, we make our way back to Federation dock to patch ourselves up and resupply. The Pioneer served well in our absence and held out until Federation reinforcements re-entered the prize world system. As for Captain Gabriel Lorca and Commander Ellen Landry, well...
Personal log, Commander Ellen Landry. She's been gone for months, and every day I'm reminded of her. I even have her job now. Chief of Security. I took it to honor her. To continue her work. To keep people safe. The captain's recovered from his injuries, mostly. His eyes don't handle the light very well. But like me, he forges on. This war, the Klingons, they've taken so much from us both. From me, for the captain, only duty remains.
Long-range sensors are picking up Klingon raiders in this sector. Ready for a little payback?
Always.